Coming up on Volusia Magazine, we talk with the county's first ever resource stewardship director, get air travel tips, and fuel up on history at a local garage. These stories and more coming up next. Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Tammy King. Time for a quick question of reflection. How will you be remembered once you're gone? For some, the positive impact that their life had on others will live on for generations to come. Ensuring that legacy and the message of an extraordinary life can take many forms and leave a path of inspiration for all to hear and see. Recently, Volusia County had the chance to commemorate a great past leader within our very own community.
It's my pleasure to welcome you to the plaque unveiling for James F. Sowell at Shell Harbor Park.
This is really a special occasion, and it took a while for us to get here. I remember when I spoke with staff about how do we honor Mayor Sowell. And we talked about, we had just opened this ramp and what a great honor it would be to include him as part of this. And I'm so happy that we're here today able to do that. Mayor Sowell was an outstanding role model for hundreds of people throughout his life. He led by example and truly deserves this recognition. The experiences had at this beautiful location and the moments shared by so many will live in the memory of James F. Sowell.
It is a great honor to be able to stand here today as we unveil this plaque. And we leave something in the memory of Jimmy Sowell, somebody who gave 20 years as mayor of the town of Pearson, who gave so much of his life to the citizens of Northwest Volusia County.
It was an honor and a privilege to work with Jimmy. He was an outstanding mayor. The only problem I had with Jim is that he's not here. I wish he was here today. I wish he could have had continued to serve here in the community. But sometimes God has other plans for us.
It's absolutely gorgeous out here. And he was a very humble man, and he would be speechless right now.
I think he would just enjoy it and love to see the people here. He'd love to see the people come out and enjoy it. And it means something. It's not just something that's thrown together. It's been nice, and it turned out to be a beautiful place. It really did.
I hope you enjoy it as much as he would have if he was able to have used it. I don't think anybody would have used it more than he would, or enjoyed it more than he would have. And he's really missed. I tell you, he's really missed. And I know everybody's going to enjoy it. This is James. I don't think he'll be Jimmy, but I think he's always going to be James. That's what his sister said. His name is James.
Here's James.
What a blessing yes, to the community. So, yes.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
From citrus groves to the county council chambers, the fellow you're about to meet knows his way around. Pat Hewen is here to introduce you to Volusia County's new Director of Resource Stewardship.
And the motion on the table is to approve Dr. Bradley Burbaugh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Congratulations.
I'm at Mud Lake Citrus Grove with the man of the hour, Dr. Brad Burbaugh. Now, Brad has a mighty impressive background in natural and agricultural resources. Now, Brad, I'd like to start by asking the burning question, what on earth is resource stewardship?
Well, resource stewardship, Pat, is the responsible planning and management of our resources. We are truly blessed in Volusia County to have so many awesome resources, from our coastal estuarine systems, our upland habitats, and our freshwater systems. And so our job in resource stewardship is to, number one, educate people about how to take care of these resources, while at the same time managing them and planning for them to be able to be conserved and enjoyed by our public in perpetuity.
Okay, thanks, Brad. So now I get it. I understand there are 4 activities within Resource Stewardship Division. Can you tell us about them?
Sure, there's 4 distinct activities, as you observed. One is UF IFAS Extension, and so they develop our human resources, our young people in 4-H. They also protect our resources by teaching people how to put the right plant in the right place and apply the right amount of fertilizer. Next, we have 2 voter initiatives that passed in November 2020, Volusia Echo and Volusia Forever, where the voters really told us what their values are. And I'm very proud of having grown up here and people saying that this is my community and I choose to protect it. That is the essence of community.
So we're all about getting back to nature. And let's revisit the extension. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, Pat. UF IFAS Extension to me is all about giving the public access and teaching them. And so I would encourage folks in our county, if they're interested in implementing Florida-friendly landscaping in their yard, or if they're interested in growing their own vegetables, we have demonstration gardens at the Extension office that were funded through an ECHO grant for people to come and learn about through a self-guided tour, or we could guide them on a tour to learn about how to better protect our natural resources through science-based landscaping and vegetable production.
Now, I've spent some time looking for scrub jays out at Lyonia Preserve, and I find them delightful birds. Can you tell us what your division does to maintain the scrub habitat for this endangered species?
Sure, Pat. So that's part of our land management responsibility. And so habitat management is a big part of what we do. And so what we do is we specifically manage that habitat based on science to draw more birds or more family of those scrub jays to the area.
Now, I know that the ECHO program is wildly popular among Volusia County residents. Can you tell us some more about that?
It's pretty popular because we've funded over 243 environmental, cultural, historical, and outdoor recreation projects. And if you're like my family, when you go to enjoy resources around the county, you see that ECHO sign. And so what we're doing is strengthening and developing those resources for our community to enjoy. And I'm looking forward to implementing the next 20 years of the program to provide more resources for our community to enjoy.
Now, let's talk more about Volusia Forever. I understand that it not only preserves natural lands, but it also provides accessibility to the public.
Yes, and that's one of the cool things about the program is that it has dual benefits to our county. One is the ecosystem services that it provides in terms of water retention and water recharge, but also the access that it provides our citizens for passive recreation. So we have miles of trails and fishing and hunting opportunities, camping at primitive campsites for people to enjoy.
Tell us what inspired you to enter this interesting profession.
Well, like many other people, I was inspired by a great teacher and experience. So I took an ag class in 11th grade, and before that time, I wanted to work in the medical field. And so that ag class, though, really gave me a greater appreciation for agriculture and natural resources, and then the opportunity and experience to show at the Volusia County Fair really changed the trajectory of my life. And so I went to the University of Florida and majored in agricultural education and came back, and since then it's really been about public service for me. I come from a long line of public servants in my family, and so serving the public is where I feel comfortable, where I feel that I can really make a difference and what I'm passionate about.
Every day, Florida's courageous first responders work together to keep Florida safe during all types of hazards, including wildfires near homes and communities. Florida's first responders are asking for your help to increase safety and accessibility during wildfires with 3 easy steps. Create a clean, fire-resistant space around the home. Make a family evacuation plan and evacuate early when wildfire is near. For more, visit floridaforestservice.com or wildlandfirersg.org.
More and more Americans are taking vacations in record numbers since the start of the pandemic. Millions are traveling by plane, and many are unaware that they may have packed prohibited items. Volusia Magazine's Joanne Magley has that story.
Many people haven't taken a trip in more than a year, and air travel has certainly changed from before the pandemic. But even if you are a seasoned traveler, it's good to know what you can and cannot pack in your bags.
This is a grenade. Yes, it is a grenade. And someone had this in their suitcase.
Sari Kochetz is a spokesperson for the Transportation Security Administration and talked about prohibited items at Daytona Beach International Airport.
This is the type of item that you may not bring in your carry-on or your checked bag, even if the explosives have been removed. Okay, because obviously when it's in your bag, even in a checked bag, we have to determine that in fact the explosives have been removed. And in order to do that, we have to freeze operations.
And that freeze of operations could lead to an evacuation of the airport until the bomb squad can give the all clear. Other items aren't so obvious, like a wine bottle opener, or maybe you packed a meat tenderizer because you're planning on making a special meal when you arrive. But these items are a no-no.
Don't bring items in your carry-on bag that could be a bludgeon. If it's something that you don't want the passenger sitting next to you to have, then don't bring it yourself. Lately, we've had multiple examples of people bringing their hammers. So I don't know if you're going to visit a relative and you want to help them with some projects, that's great, but maybe check with them to see if they have a hammer before you leave home, or put it in your checked bag.
Each year, the TSA collects thousands of items passengers surrender at the checkpoint. TSA officers stop literally tons of voluntarily abandoned property consisting of prohibited items such as knives and brass knuckles, and they intercept tens of thousands of pounds of hazardous materials such as flammable and corrosive household chemicals every year.
Some of the other items you see on the table, if someone brought those liquid gels and aerosols, most of those could have gone in their checked bag. The exception is anything that's corrosive, explosive, or flammable.
Each time a TSA officer has to open a carry-on bag due to prohibited items, it slows down the line for you and everyone behind you. Practicing the 3-1-1 rule and leaving home without your prohibited items will facilitate a quicker checkpoint experience, reduce touch points, and reduce your overall stress from traveling.
Here at Daytona Beach International Airport, if a passenger does forget and pack a prohibited item in their carry-on, instead of surrendering it, they can simply grab an envelope, put the item in the envelope, mail it back to their home, all compliments of Daytona Beach International Airport.
TSA makes it easy to find out what can't go in your bags. Agents are available by phone Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekends and holidays. You can send a message through Twitter or Facebook, and you can go online at tsa.gov/contact and click the What Can I Bring link at the top of the screen. So if you want to ensure a touch-free experience at the airport, take a few extra minutes at home to make sure you are TSA ready. For Volusia Magazine at Daytona Beach International Airport, I'm Joanne Magger.
The Ormond Garage is still in business, but today they're filling you up with a different kind of fuel. Its history goes all the way back to the early 1900s, when Ormond Beach became the birthplace of speed. Let's get with Kevin Captain for the scoop.
The birth of the Ormond Garage is tied to popular industrialist Henry Flagler, co-founder of Standard Oil Company. Originally built by John Anderson and Joseph Price, Flagler purchased Hotel Ormond in 1890, which would soon become a luxurious and incredibly popular vacation destination in Ormond Beach. Some of his hotel guests were automobile enthusiasts, race car owners, and other aristocrats from the time. Years later came the Ormond Garage. To learn more about the Ormond Garage, we talked with Volusia County resident and birthplace of speed historian Dan Smith, and he gave us some great insight.
The original Ormond Garage was built in the summer of 1904. A promoter came down from Jersey named William Morgan, Senator William Morgan. He convinced them that they could throw a speed tournament and it would fill up the hotel. There's 400 rooms, and it would be a big money maker for the hotel. And Mr. Flagler, then he saw the beauty of it. He says, what can I do to help you? He said, well, we need a garage. He said, we had millionaires trying to fix their cars rolling around in sand spurs out here in the outskirts of the property. And he says, and it rained, and he says they didn't have a way to get the cars in out of the rain. And so Flagler immediately called his builder, his contractor, and he built one heck of a garage. It was a repair slot for 36 cars in that garage. It was a big garage. The tournaments picked up year after year and became a big deal. That garage was the first facility in the world built to house and repair race cars. It was the first gasoline alley. It was the first race car garage in the world.
And with race cars advancing to then more sophisticated engines, the Ormond Garage would grow with the addition of another garage built just to the west over the Granada Bridge. This building would be used as an engine room and machine shop.
The work had become so heavy, so much engine work in the original garage, that they got worried about that wooden building, that it might burn. They were worried about it being a fire hazard, which turned out to be prophetic. So, but they was doing a lot of engine work. So they built this one. As you can see, this is brick and stone, this building, and it was more fireproof than the other building. And they began doing work here in 1919.
On Wednesday, January 7th, 1976, adversity would strike the original building of the Ormond Garage, and Dan Smith still remembers that very tragic day.
I was fishing. I saw a big black plume of smoke coming up over the city. I said, man, that's right downtown. I said, I better go see what's going on. So I drove over, and it was, the fire was just getting going.
Today, the original site of the Ormond Garage is home to a branch of SunTrust Bank. A small replica of the building also exists at the birthplace of Speed Park near the Granada Beach approach. Despite the loss of the original building, the machine shop to its west prevails.
But this is all we have left, this one, this brewery. All the big names went through that garage right here, the Ormond Garage Brewery. Barney Oldfield, Ralph De Palma, who set the world's record in 1920. 1921, Tommy Milton set the world's record. Jimmy Murphy come after that. It was a steady procession of world records, and most of them came right through here. Most of them came right through this building.
Today, local entrepreneur and history restorer Bill Jones leases the building to popular restaurateur Kevin Wakefield. And together, along with general manager Wes Lemoyne, they have brewed an amazing transformation. And there's one quintessential set of wheels that stands out.
If you saw the Stanley Steamer race car inside, the red race car that's in the front of the building, that car, it belongs to the city. That car is a replica of the car that set the world's the greatest land speed record ever set on Ormond's Beach was in 1906 when the Stanley Steamer went 127 miles per hour. It was identical to that one.
Transforming the building into a brewery and restaurant took a great deal of planning. Wes Lemoyne says their primary focus was all about preservation.
We had to put in a floor, the bathrooms, of course, and the whole brew system that you see. We had to do all that, and while doing that, we had to keep it kind of period correct. All the brickwork that where there was some that were messed up, we went back and recreated it to look like it was all the same. And the cars you see up front, cars like that raced here, and those are real cars. The stuff we have on the walls, the pictures, all the advertisements, that's all from that period. So it's kind of a step back in time. We really didn't change the outside. It's a historic building. So where it says, Ormond Garage, we are Ormond Garage, but now we're a brewery and a restaurant.
The Ormond Garage Brewery and Restaurant is now a working museum, and it has been preserved. The building was built in 1919, but it is now preserved, and it's a part of Volusia County history that's available to the public. Everybody in Volusia County can stop in and take a look and enjoy the history of birthplace of speed.
We love stories that preserve our county's history, and this is sure one of them. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Kevin Captain.
Want to learn a little bit more about the history of the Ormond Garage? Then check out the County of Volusia YouTube page for the whole scoop. What is normal? Our lives are made up of a myriad of influences that are constantly changing. The pandemic proved normal can change in an instant, and for many of us, it did. With our favorite spots around the county reopening to the public, we are starting to get a glimpse into what this normal may look like. But are we back to normal? We will leave that for you to decide. David Hunt has that story.
The light at the end of the tunnel. The Marine Science Center is back open to the public.
Oh my gosh, to be open right now is amazing.
So having the public back and having that opportunity to refocus and reconnect with the visitors has been great. We've had a lot of great feedback about the awesome new improvements we made at the Marine Science Center. We have a new touch pool, and so the old touch pool is out of the middle of the floor, which really improves visitor flow. The new touch pool is larger and much better for the animals, and all of the new biofluorescence exhibit and refinished the floors and did a lot of sprucing up. So we've had a lot of great feedback from the visitors on the way it's laid out now and all the new education components.
Reopened, but are they better than ever? We asked what the team learned during the pandemic closure.
With a closure like this, you learn to adapt. You learn to, you have to adapt because if not, you don't survive. So we adapted to create virtual programming and virtual birthday parties. We did a lot more media, Facebook, and we created videos for YouTube. And because we adapted like that, we actually did survive, and we were able to reach a lot wider audience. So not just our local schools or visitors that come here when they're on holiday, but we were able to go to different states. I even did a birthday party to Prague.
So our reach was extensive. We had some posts that reached over 100,000 views, and so our Turtle Tots program had thousands of views. So a class that in person would only reach about 25 kids a class now is reaching thousands of viewers. So that's a huge increase in viewership. I think, strengthened the County of Volusia and the County of Volusia's conservation message, and that so many people are becoming aware of Volusia County and all the important work that we're doing here.
Another thing that we have learned from the pandemic is great ways to help spread out the public. So we have educational programming on the side deck, and have live shows outside in our amphitheater, and have some pop-up classrooms that we use to really help distribute the crowd.
We can become versatile, we can become flexible, we can continue our mission of rescue, rehabilitation, and educating the public in a new way.
We took something that was, that was a challenge, and I'm really proud of the staff, how they really pulled through and made some big improvements on how to connect with the community and educate. So, we made it through, and we're open now.
So the big question is, are we back to normal?
So normality, what is that? We're doing what we can do, and we're doing it really, really well. And for me, this is the new norm.
Life is good here in Volusia County, and I don't know if we got back to normal, but I know we definitely got better. I'm Dave Hunt with Volusia Magazine.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Volusia Magazine. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here. Or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Tammy King. And remember, have a fabulous day on purpose.